A very good and a beautiful morning to all my children out there. I am your Malika ma'am, and now onwards you all are going to have English classes with me. So in this phase 2, you all are going to have your English classes with me. I hope you all will enjoy your phase 2 session. Your English classes will be very interesting, and I promise one thing, that I'll try to make your understanding very clear and easier for you. But there are few things which you also need to take care of, and that is, let's look into the slide on the screen. Now here I have given few tips for you all which you need to follow every time before you sit for your English class. Tip number 1 for you all is, you always need to sit with your rough notebook, a pen and a textbook if possible. If you have a textbook, please sit with your textbook. Next is, you need to note down all the important points so that you can revise it later. This is the most important point, my dear children. Whenever I'll explain the chapter, or I'll explain the prose, or any other explanation will be on, you need to quickly note it down in your rough notebook so that later on you can revise it and refer to your own notes. Third point is, you have to use English resources like newspaper. So daily reading is very important in everyone's life, right? So newspaper reading is important, storybooks, then magazines, educational channels, you need to watch educational channels, and audio video to develop your listening and reading comprehension. And the last point is, you must read the poem and the prose by yourself. Means after my explanation, or before even my explanation, at least you need to have a look into your text. You need to read it once, you need to revise it as well. Okay, that is called self-reading and revising, which is must after my explanation, and even before my explanation also. You can just go through, you can just read your stories, because now in standard 7th you have beautiful poetry and proses. There are wonderful prose from where you are going to get beautiful morals out of each and every story. Alright, so these are the tips which you need to follow, and one thing which I'll make sure, that I'll keep my explanation easier for you all so that you can understand it very well. So now we will start the slides and we will actually start the session. So once again, I welcome you all into the next phase of your learning. I hope and really pray that this time in phase 2 you will have a lovely learning. So happy learning, my dear children. So children, let's begin the session with a motivational thought which says, if you will change the way you perceive things, then one day things that you are looking at will start to change. And yes, it says that if you believe in yourself, if you believe in your thoughts, if you can read your mind and trust yourself, then one day things will start changing for you. So my dear children, you always need to be optimistic. Then you must think positive. Then you have to be a good human being. And at last, you need to trust yourself. Alright, so these are very important factors to keep us motivated. So here we are. Let's start the day. This is the cover page of your Standard 7th Revised New Oxford Modern English book, and This is the content page of your textbook, and here you can see chapter number 2, that is January night. Now we are going to study about this topic. So here the topic of the day is the January night, which says Posh Ki Raat, which is written by Munshi Premchand. Okay, now let me tell you the meaning of the word that is posh. Now this is actually a month, that is the 10th month in Hindu calendar, which begins in the month of December and ends in the month of January. Okay, and these days the nights are considered as the coldest nights. So let's now study something about the author Munshi Premchand. So he was Munshi Premchand. Now let's study something about him. Dhanpat Rai Srivastava, this is his actual name. 31st July 1880 to 8th October 1936. Now he was better known by his pen name Munshi Premchand. He was an Indian writer famous for his modern Hindustani literature. Premchand has written about 300 short stories, several novels, as well as many essays and letters. He has also written some plays. He also did some translations. Now many of Premchand's stories have been translated into English and Russian. Now Godan, the gift of a cow. This is the name of his last novel. So Godan, his last novel, is considered the finest Hindi novel of all times. Now the main characteristic of Premchand's writings is his interesting storytelling and use of simple languages. Now my dear children, in this upcoming story you will find the language is so very simple that you yourself will understand each and everything. Okay, now his novels describe the problems of the rural peasant classes. He avoided the use of highly Sanskritized Hindi. Means he always avoided using difficult words because he wanted his readers to understand it very easily. So that was the reason, and was the common practice among Hindi writers, and also Spanish language. So this is about the author Munshi Premchand. Now let's move forward to see next. Okay, so here children you can see the picture where you can see the Britishers are actually torturing the poor farmers. See how they are torturing, they are ruling the farmers. In next picture you are seeing zamindars. Zamindars means the landlords. They also used to rule farmers. Now I must tell you some facts about them. Now children, you know what was the impact of British rule on Indian farmers? You must have studied about all this thing in your history chapter, but let us quickly revise it about it, right? So the British changed the nature and the structure of an industry that 80% of Indians considered their livelihood. Now a new class of landlords suddenly emerged, okay, that rented the land to farmers. Now farmers began a cycle of debt that led to poverty, as they were expected to give the majority of their crops to the landlord. So it was a real torture to the farmers. Now zamindari system, okay, the zamindars were actually considered as the head who had the supreme power to overrule the farmers. They were the landowners and they used to control these poor farmers. Now the main consequence of the system was that they have to collect taxes on the imperial court behalf that leads to lordship. Now zamindari system was started by the East Indian Company in the year 1793. So in this system the entire village is converted into a big unit called mahal. Now I'm very sure you all have studied about these terms in your history. So now January Night is a story of a tenant farmer and his plight against zamindari system, that is a landlordship, and the setting are of small village of North India in and around UP, we can say. Okay, and but of that time, at that time when zamindars, when landlords and the Britishers used to rule these poor farmers. Alright, so we came to know about it. Let's move forward and see the characters. Now this is the important part of your story. Now the first picture which you can see on your screen, he is Halku. Now Halku is the main character in the story January Nights. Halku is a tenant farmer and he works on the land of his landlord. In this story he suffers at the hands of the landlord and is exploited by the landlord, and all the profits which he used to earn are rather taken over and used by the landlord. Now Halku suffers and exploited in this story. Later on you will come to know about it. Now this wonderful character which you can see, a little dog, his name is Jabra. Now Jabra is a stray dog who loves his master a lot. He always stays beside him and takes care of the field with Halku. And this is the land where Halku actually works. Alright, this is a lady you can see. This is another character and her name is Munni. Now Munni is Halku's wife. She is a very sensible lady. She's quite strict and she takes care of her home, and they means Munni and Halku, lived here in this poor lowly hut. Lowly hut means it's a poor hut. Alright, so these are the characters in the story. Now let's start the actual story. So my children, this is the page, actually page number 27 from your textbook. I'm not very sure whether the texts are clear to you all or not, whether it's visible or not, but I am sure that my voice is visible to you. So if you would listen to me, the things are going to get very clear to you all. Alright, so let's start the text. I am reading it out louder. If you have your textbook in front of you, please sit with your textbook, take out a pencil, underline few words and few phrases which are used in the story, and write down the meanings quickly there. Okay, so before starting the chapter January Night, let me tell you two things. First thing is that there are total 4 scenes in this story. Okay, now 4 scenes about means there are 4 different situations mentioned in this story. And the second thing is that there are few phrases used as in different expressions. So I'll be telling you the meanings of those phrases as well. So for that you need a pencil or a pen. Sit with your rough notebook if you don't have the textbook, or else if you have the textbook, underline it then and there and write down the meanings. So finally let's start. Okay, let's start. Unit number 2, January Night. Now this short story, which has been translated by David Rubin, is from a collection of stories called The World of Prem Chand. That is, January Night was originally called Posh Ki Raat. Now I told you already that Posh being the name of a month in the Hindu solar calendar. Now the story has been abridged. Okay, let us start. Halku came in and said to his wife, "The landlord's come. Get the rupees you set aside. I'll give him the money and somehow or other we will get along with it." So here Halku suddenly came in the house and told his wife that the landlord is waiting outside the home and you just take out all the money. Now set aside means keeping aside separately. So Halku told Munni that the amount, the money which you kept it separately or which you have kept aside, you bring that money because I need to give that money to the landlord. And then he said, "I'll give him the money and somehow or other we will get along." Now this is the kind of phrase I was talking about. Underline get along and write down the meaning is manage to survive. So Halku said that the money which you kept it aside, you bring the money, I need to give it to the landlord and somehow we will manage to survive. Okay, next para. Munni had been sweeping. She turned around and said, "But there are only 3 rupees. If you give them to him, where's the blanket going to come from? How are you going to get through these January nights in the fields?" So Munni was sweeping at that time and she turned around and told Halku that we only have 3 rupees left at home, and if you give 3 rupees, then how come you are going to buy the blanket? And how are you going to get through? Now the meaning of get through is to go through or to survive. So Munni said, if you give that 3 rupees to the landlord, then how are you going to survive these January nights? Now January night here, the expression, the meaning of the expression is the coldest nights. So Munni said that you need to stay in the field in the open air, and if you give the money, then how will you survive in that coldest night without a blanket, right? So Munni was really worried about Halku. So that's why she little denied to give that 3 rupees. You know why she denied? Because that was the only amount Munni and Halku had at home. So that is the reason Munni was worried about it. Tell him we will pay him after the harvest, not right now. So Munni told that you go and tell the landlord that we will not pay him right now. So when will they pay him? They will pay just after the harvest. Okay, harvesting of the crops, but not at least right now. For a moment, Halku stood hesitating. Meaning of hesitating is unsure. Do not know what to do. So for a moment after listening to this, Halku stood like hesitating, like he was not knowing now what to do. Without a blanket, he couldn't possibly sleep in the fields at night. Of course, that was a true thing, that without a blanket, and that too in this January night, in this coldest night, he could not possibly survive in the open air. But there was a big problem, that the landlord wouldn't be put off. Now put off is another expression. The meaning of put off is delay. So here the meaning is landlord can't be delayed. Means Halku could not say no to the landlord because he would threaten and insult him. The landlord would threaten Halku and he would insult him. So what? Did it matter if they died in the cold weather as long as they could just take care of the calamity right now? It means that Halku was thinking about all this thing, that what if even if we die, the landlords never care about it, they only need money. Okay. As he thought this, he moved his heavy body. So as he thought means Halku started thinking about it. Well, while he moved his heavy body. Now heavy body means healthy body. Healthy body means he was quite fat. Okay, now see here, one more important thing to know is that Halku. Halku is a Hindi name which means very light. Light means lightweighted. Okay, but actually he was not. Actually he was quite healthy. He was quite fat. So that's why it's written in the bracket that gave the lie to his name. Lie meaning here the personality is just opposite to the name. The name is Halku, but his personality is quite heavy, quite healthy. So that is the reason. So anyways, he was thinking about all this thing, that if he say no to the landlord is going to threaten Halku. The landlord is going to insult Halku, and came close to his wife. So Halku wanted to say something to Munni, so he came closer. Now children, here we have seen that few phrases are used. Okay, I am sure you have underlined and you have written the meaning of those phrases. So let's turn the next page. Here we can see page number 28. Okay, so now we are actually reading the setting of the story. This is just the first part. This is the setting of the story. So let's continue. Trying to coax her, he said, "Come on, give it to me. We'll manage. I'll figure out some other plan to get the blanket." Now you see here, trying to coax meaning to persuade something. So he just he just persuaded, and he just trying to coax. He said, "Come on, Munni, give it to me. Give the money which we have right now. We will somehow manage. You don't worry about it." And then Halku said that, "I'll just figure out some other plan to buy the blanket." Okay, he just said these words just to relax Munni. But Munni drew away from him, her eyes angry. She said, "You just tell me what other plan can be found. Is somebody going to give you a blanket?" So Munni was really, she was very angry. And she said, drew away means went away. After going away, she said that her eyes were angry, and she said that, "You just tell me your other plan first. Then I'll think about it. And is somebody going to give you a blanket means, is somebody going to gift you a blanket? So from where will you get the blanket?" She just asked. God knows how many debts are always left over that we can't pay off. So this is a real sad part of this culture. Now the meaning of the debt is due amount. So Munni was saying that God only knows that how many due amounts are always left over that we can't even pay off. We can't even pay to our landlords. What I say is, give up the tenant farming. So Munni said that you must give up. Munni suggested to Halku that give up means quit, leave this tenant farming. The work's killing you. So she said, the work, so what kind of work? The hectic kind of work. The hectic work is killing you means you, his here is Halku. So Munni suggested that Halku must quit, must leave tenant farming. Then she said, whatever you harvest goes to pay up the arrears. Now again, arrears meaning the pending amount which they always used to pay to the landlords. So why not finish with it? Earn some money for your own belly. I won't give you the money. I won't. Now she's very angry, and she said that you think about some other job. Better you think about some other job, and think about earning some money for your own food. but I will not give you the money. She was very adamant in giving that 3 rupees. Now here, sadly, Halku said, then I will have to put up with his abuse. Put up means he need to listen, he need to get through the abuse, means the insult, the torture of the landlord. The bitter truth in Halku's words came charging at Munni like a wild beast. So the moment Halku said these words, like a wild beast means it means a kind of annoying or upsetting, you can say. So the moment Halku said that he is going to torture me, he is going to insult me, Munni felt little annoyed and upset that Halku is going to get insulted by the landlord. So what she did, she went to the nick in the wall, took out the rupees and handed them over to Halku. So the meaning of nick is a small kind of hole. Now children, you must know about it that right now in our home we have a locker where we can lock that with a key, or sometimes we have a password which we can close and open. But those days they did not have all those facilities, right? So for that reason, they used to make small holes on the wall, and there they used to keep their jewelries, their money, or whatever the important documents and all in that hole. So that hole is called, the term is nick. Now Munni went to the wall, and the small hole where it was prepared, she took out the rupees and finally handed over to Halku. And then she said, give up the farming this time. If you work as a hired laborer, because Halku was hired and he was a laborer, so Munni said that you need to give up your job this time. If you work as a hired laborer, you will at least get enough food to eat from it. Fine work farming someone else's land. So she said that taking care of someone else's land is not good, but farming in someone else's land is far more better than staying awake at that night, at that coldest night. So this kind of job was actually killing Halku. So Munni suggested him to quit that thing and you come to the farming job. You better farm in someone else's land, at least you can get some money to earn for your belly, right? Now next is, Halku took the money and went outside, looking as though he were tearing his heart out and giving it away. Now again underline tearing his heart out. This is a phrase and it means extremely upset or sad. Now obviously this is so understandable that when you earn a money and when you save it piece by piece, how you feel, just to give it to landlord just for no reason actually. So when Halku was moving, when Halku was going to give that money to the landlord, as if he was tearing his heart out, means he was extremely upset, he was extremely sad to give it away, because he had earned that money by giving his blood and soul to it. So he would save the rupees from his work piece by piece, meaning little by little he had saved those 3 rupees just for his blanket. Okay, so understand, just for his blanket, to get his blanket he had earned and he had saved those amount. But today he was going to throw it away. With every step his head sank lower under the burden of his poverty. So it was such a bad thing for him that the amount which he has saved, just to get his blanket, now today he had to give that amount to the landlord just for no reason. he felt like getting burdened because he was poor. The burden of his poverty. He was so poor that he had no another option, he had no other way out. But he had to give that money which he has saved to the landlord. So that was the saddest part. So, my dear children, this is all for the day. Now, you can see here in page number 2, it's written, it's page number 28, it's written number 2 in yellow color highlighted. Number 2 means tomorrow we are going to study about the second phase of the story. So, today we only have studied the first phase. Okay, now first phase here means this was just an introduction of a scenario, a kind of a situation where it showed that how poor, they were in burden of their poverty, how poor they were, and what kind of situation they lived in. So tomorrow we are going to study about the next few parts of this story. So we will continue the session. Till then, bye bye all. But please take care of your health and go through the chapter. If you have the book with you, go through it and jot down the phrases separately in your notebook and the meaning as well, which I have told you just now. Just write down as words to know and learn, keep on learning these meanings as well. Alright, so thank you all.